Hey guys, Michael Smith here, the BeachBanger. If you're in the market for a simple, affordable firing system to shoot off your fireworks with, then look no further, because today I'm talking about the Bilusocn 1200 firing system. If you have considered looking into buying this particular model, or you're interested in finding more information about it, then stay tuned. This is actually a brand new video I'm making, and I'm in my shed today, and it's very hot outside, and it can be hot in here too. So if you hear some rattling or some noise, it's my AC unit. I had to turn it on so I can be here to do this video. Also, this video here might be a little something different than what you're used to because of all the jargon and technical stuff. I might have to use some of my cheat sheets here to go by. But regardless, I promise you a AAA quality training video today. There's a lot to cover in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, what you're looking at is the actual Bilusocn 1200 firing system. It is a Chinese firing system. This here is the box that came in. Now, the contents of this box, per my order, was a control panel and 6 modules. It also came with this little piece of paper here. It's got some information on it. Wireless firing system. I also bought a few other items from other sources. I bought some additional modules, 6 to be exact, and I bought some igniters too, and some LED testers. If you do decide to purchase this unit, upon arrival and opening the box, I recommend doing a inspection for the condition of the unit itself. According to some other pyros, there's been some issues with cosmetic discrepancies and perhaps even some damage. I'm going to give you some general information about this. We're going to go into the nomenclature and system features of the control panel and modules. We're going to talk about the igniters. I'm going to teach you about programming and reprogramming, maybe some troubleshooting, and we're going to do a functionality test. I mean, what's a tutorial without a functionality test? We'll be using flashing fountains and some ground blooms. Before we dive in about this unit here, I want to first give you some information about this. I want to talk about my purchase, and I want to talk about item selection. I purchased this unit from eBay for $130. That's a control panel and 6 modules, 24 Qs. And it's shipped from a place called Cranberry, New Jersey. This is a Chinese firing system that is manufactured in a place called Luoyang City, Hunan Province, China. Bilusocn is the name of the company, and from what I've seen and heard from other people, no one seems to know how to correctly pronounce the name. I just pronounce it as Bilusocn. Bilusocn has a website that you can visit and order directly from. And according to their website, they have several distributors here in the United States for which they ship. Also, prior to purchasing this unit, I invested a lot of time in researching the product. I watched a bunch of different videos from other YouTubers and pyros about this. I wanted to see and hear what they had to say. I learned quite a bit from watching their videos. When I started researching the Bilusocn 1200, I don't know when the company originated or when they started producing the firing system, but I noticed that there were a bunch of different variations of the unit. The unit was the same pretty much, but there were a lot of differences in the appearance of the unit and its design. Some of them had black cases and some had orange cases, and also the interior of the units were also different. Okay, so in this picture you see the Bilusocn 1200, but this model has a black box around the cube buttons and the all-fire buttons. And also it says 1200 keys of telecontrol emitter. That's a little different from what I got. This next one is in a black case. Looks like mine, but it's in a black case. The next one is also in a black case, and it has black line around the Q buttons and all fire buttons. But also something else different too is that little buttons with a positive negative R on mine, it says area modulation instead. And this one here also says 1200 keys of telecontrol emitter. This next one has a different looking antenna. It also says area modulation. And here we have one that says Bilusocn between the antenna and the control keys. There are no black boxes around those Q numbers. And the next one is a silver case. It's got Chinese writing on it with black boxes around the Q pads. It says Bilusocn between the antenna and the control keys. And this one here is different altogether. It's written in Chinese as well. It's got red ignition keys. The rapid fire button and the off fire button are located in different spaces. And it looks like the antenna is detachable. So that is the different variations of the units that you might come across while searching the Bilusocn line of products. You can take a look for yourself which one you like best. I did decide to go with the orange case because it kind of went with my vibe, you know, with the orange and the yellow look. So I want to kind of keep that thing going, you know. Alright, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into this, starting with the control panel to begin with. You can see here in the front it says Bilusocn 1200 made in China. The case has these latches here. Alright, and it comes with this nice little handle on it too. You can carry it around with. It's a hard plastic case. Seems pretty durable. And also there's a little knob right here, which I believe if you twist it, it actually loosens the interface. Something else about this particular case, it's advertised as being an ABS waterproof flight case. So I guess this casing makes it waterproof. I have not tested that, nor will I. But being out there on the water sometimes, it might come in handy. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up. The unit comes with a pair of keys here. One for you to use and one for you to store away somewhere safe. These keys are used to power the unit on. Over here you got this little ignition switch. It says power, it says on and off position. To turn it on, you would use those keys. And when you turn the key on, you see it says area 00. This is the default area that comes on when you first turn the unit on. I think the keys is kind of a unique feature. Something different. Most units just have a little switch, but I kind of like the keys. Now I realize if you happen to lose your keys, you're probably in trouble. That's why I give you a spare. But I don't know, it's kind of a neat feature. Alright. There's this little padding up here too, which is kind of neat. It comes out. But that kind of helps protect the unit. It has this antenna right here. Telescopic antenna that goes up. Something I want to talk about with this antenna here is that some pyros on YouTube have talked about how the antenna has gave them problems with ignition. This one guy talked about how his antenna, when it was all the way up, it did not work. But then when he dropped it down low, or took it down altogether, the fireworks would ignite. I haven't really tested that out much for myself. I guess the best thing to do would probably to try it with the antenna up first, and maybe kind of lower it a little bit if you need to, or raise it if you need to, if you have problems. But this antenna is kind of flimsy, so I imagine it'd be easy to break off, and you wouldn't want to do that. And also, this here is a battery compartment. It holds 6 batteries that are required to power the unit. Right here it says 1200 Qs remote control. Some people call this a remote, some people call it a transmitter. I refer to this as the control panel, because this is how you operate the firing system. The whole firing system is by this control panel. This material right here, I'm not sure what it is. It's like, it's not necessarily really metal, but it's not plastic either. It has a nice tapping sound. Anyways, I refer to this as the interface. Alright, right here is the area, and when we power it on, this here will light up. The area, some people call it channels, some people call it districts, some people call it other things. Personally, I like channels, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use areas. And these buttons right here has a plus and minus, allow you to change your channels. Down here you got 12 red buttons, each with a number by them. And these numbers correlate with the Qs on the modules, which we'll get into later. But that's what they're for. Now, something people have complained about is the numbers by these buttons. Some people have said that and have shown that these numbers are kind of scratched out or missing or whatnot. As you can see, I have not had that problem. All my numbers are there. And the buttons, they work pretty good. I mean, when I use it, I'll push them down pretty firmly. I don't just tap them. I push them down pretty firmly. And over here you have a rapid button and an all fire button. The rapid button, when you push it, it ignites the fireworks that are connected to a particular area. It shoots them off in a very rapid manner, like half a second or less. Next to the rapid button, you have the all fire button. When you press this button, all the fireworks that are allocated to Qs 1 through 12 will go off at the same time. But only the fireworks that are assigned to a certain area. And I'll demonstrate this button here a little bit later. If you press this button, you don't have to worry about all your fireworks going off, you know, on multiple areas. If you're working on area 1, for example, then only the fireworks that will go off are the ones that's assigned to queues 1 through 12 on area 1. So have some comfort knowing that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and power this unit on here. When I turn the key, you notice that the light come on for channels. You can see here that the area is on 00. This unit goes from 00 to 99. And again, you can change your areas by going up and down by pressing the positive or negative. Personally, I don't use channel 00. I use that as a default channel for safety. When I turn the unit on, but I'm not ready to actually use it, I'll have it on channel 00. And when I get ready to start firing, I'll change it to area 1. Now, I know you probably got questions about the control panel, but don't worry. I've just been talking about the features of the control panel. I have not gotten into the actual performance. We'll get into detail about the performance of the control panel a little bit later. It should go without saying that this control panel can't do anything alone. This control panel cannot electronically light fireworks with the unit the way it is. You can mash buttons all day long, nothing's going to happen. You see, this control panel is an emitter or transmitter. All it does is send signals. It needs a device to communicate with. It needs a device to receive its transmissions. It needs a device that can receive the signal that it is sending. And that device is a module. The module is a second piece of hardware that we're going to talk about in this video. Now, I have 6 modules right here that you can see, and they come in this nice little carrying case. It has latches, you open it up. Piece of foam in there. And it's sort of flimsy, but it's pretty durable. It's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's, you know, high quality, but it's not necessarily cheap either. So each one of these cases can hold 6 modules. Basically what you do is you take them and you put them up like this. And you take the other ones and put them upside down like this. And that's how you carry it around. But let's talk about the modules. Alright, so this here is the module. It's basically a small rectangular black box. It has a battery compartment on the back. You need 4 AA batteries to operate this device. Also, there is an antenna here that goes up and down. There's a switch on the side. This is a power button. Turn the switch, you can see the lights come on. There's red lights and there's a little yellow light here. Also, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are little numbers here. This says 1, 2, 3, 4. The number corresponds with what I call the outpost connections. These are queues, basically. That's what they're called, queues. And each module has 4 queues. These things right here, the red and black tabs, are part of the outpost connection. And what you'll do is you'll put the wire end of the igniters and these 2 outpost connections. Basically all you gotta do is just depress little tabs there, and you can see there's a little piece of metal in there. That's where you put the wire in, the igniters in there, and you let go, it puts them pretty securely. Something else I want to show you is that this label here is a default label. It comes with the module. It has the name of the system, Bilusocn, and the name on this label says Magic Effect, which happens to be the name of the eBay store which I bought this unit from. Also, you should notice a little sticker here. It says number 1 on it. That means this module has been pre-programmed to area 1. Let me show you a different one. This module right here also has a 1. This module has queues 5 through 8. It's also pre-programmed to area 1. And this one here has queues 9 through 12. Now, just in case you're wondering why this label is complete and this label here is scratched up, is because I like to use index cards and neon labels when using these modules during my shows. I like to write the area name on the labels and the firework that the cues are attached to. It helps setting up a show easier by doing this. That way I'll know what is what. But getting back to the modules, is that these modules are basically their receivers. They receive signals from the control panel. They do what the control panel says to do. And that's really all I can say about the modules. Except, here's one other thing. When you have 3 modules, cues 1 through 12, I call this a set. You have area 1 set. Up here you have area 2 set. When you use all 12 cues, 3 modules, that's a set. And you can have 100 sets, I suppose, in all. The last piece of hardware I want to talk about is the igniters. Now you have 2 types of igniters. You have what's called an E-match, which is this thing. It has this little sleeve here you can push down. It reveals the E-match. When this thing is ignited, this E-match pops and burns real hot, which ignites the fuse. This part of the igniter attaches to the firework fuse or firework, while this end attaches to the module. This is called an E-match. Also, we have what's called the Talon clamp igniter. And it's called that because, as you can see, you have a little depressor here. It opens up like an alligator mouth or talon. This igniter is a little bit different in that it has a little wire in the mouth there that you can see. Put my hand here, you can see it better maybe. But what happens is you put the fuse in here and it clamps shut. And again, the other end has a wire. You pull this off, this little tab, and it reveals the wires, which you separate, and those connect to the modules. Something else about these igniters is they come in different lengths. This here is about 12 inches or so. They come in 18 inches and longer. So you can get whatever length you need. The next thing I want to talk about is how to attach the igniters to the module. And it's real simple, but I can't do it one-handed, so I got my GoPro here on a stand. But all you gotta do is, first of all, I would make sure the power's off. Not that it matters, I don't think, but I've never been electrocuted. But you want to separate these little wires right here. Okay? And then you want to take your fingers and press down on these little tabs. Alright, and then you just want to insert the wires into the tabs. Which is kind of tricky. That's really all you gotta do to attach the igniter to the module. Alright. I'm gonna show you with the power on, because there is a difference. When the unit's on, you see these red lights, right? You got the red lights showing you there's power to the module. Alright. But when you attach the igniter with the module, okay, you'll notice a change. Okay, do you notice here that the light over here is brighter than the other lights? That's because this shows there's continuity between the igniter, the module, and that it acknowledges that it's armed. If I was to take one out, it goes back to normal. The light dims. But when it's in there, you can see that the light's bright again. So when you're connecting these igniters to the module, you want to make sure that you get the little wires in there good enough to where the light comes on. If not, when you go hit that Q button to ignite the firework, it's not going to go off unless you see this nice red light. Something else about these igniters is the on here, this is the E-match. If this E-match here is burned up, these are only one-time use, by the way. You can only use them one time. If this was to be burned up, the light here would not be bright red, it'd be dim. If you have a Talon igniter, if that little wire is broken in half or burnt up, it won't work. It has to be in contact. I've been playing with this module for a little bit, and it seems that no matter how I put the wires into the module, the outputs connection, the light always grows red. So apparently, as long as it's in there, you always have continuity. The firework will always go off as long as you have a bright red light. There's continuity there. It should always fire as it's supposed to. I guess if you don't have a bright red light for whatever reason, then that firework will not go off. If this E-match, for whatever reason, is flawed, okay, and there's not a bright red light there, the firework will not go off. Alright, what I have here is a piece of fuse, and I'm going to connect the fuse with this E-match. Basically what you want to do is put the fuse up here like this and push the sleeve over it. And you want to make sure that you can kind of lightly tug on it, and it won't come out. It came out because I pulled on a little hard. But if you put it in like this and put the sleeve over it, make sure there's a good connection, push it in there real good. If you just kind of pull on a little bit, it won't come out. And if I try to pull on it with a little bit of aggression, it'll come out easily. But like this, it should work just fine. Alright, I'm going to take this Talon igniter and the same piece of fuse, and if you put the fuse in the front and clamp down, you can't really tell maybe in this video, but the fuse is barely touching the wire in the Talon clamp. What you want to do is you want to put it on the side. Put it in like this and put it over it. This is how you want to attach the fuse to a Talon clamp on the side. That way the fuse makes direct contact with the wire and will guarantee ignition. I removed the fuse and the wire is still intact. Alright, so we talked about the different hardware. Now let's talk about some of the performance.